competitors and their supporters have been arriving by the boatload to Denmark from Britain, Ireland and indeed the rest of Europe. They're welcome and you're welcome to another series of Hooked International. For the last few months, teams of maggots have been in training in anticipation of some really great sport, because for the next 6 weeks we're on location here in the heart of the Danish Lakeland. We've come to the Silkeborg area in the wake of thousands of anglers from all over Europe who've discovered that Denmark has some of the finest coarse fishing in the world, and they've made this a place of pilgrimage. Just down the road from Silkeborg is one of those towns with a beautiful big lake offering all kinds of water sport. Today we're in Skanderborg. Of course, match fishing isn't the only kind of angling we do on this programme. And over the next few weeks we'll be exploring sea fishing, game fishing and indeed specimen hunting with some of our celebrity guests. This week with medallion man David Copperfield. Well, our match has already started under the gimlet eye of match organiser Pete Thompson.
Each week, Derek, will be seeing a combined Great Britain and Ireland side taking on a top team from the continent. World Championship class anglers, many of whom have fished in World Championships and been either successful individually or in the team competition. One man from each side in each match will go through to the final. So there's going to be a continental going through from each match and one man from the Great Britain and Ireland side as well.
So no Anglo-Irish agreement here?
Not in this one, no way. The weight of fish caught after the 5-hour match will decide the winners and who goes through to the final, and today's top team from the continent is Belgium.
Ah, and at the end of the day, of course, they're going to be competing for our own Hooked International trophy, a splendid piece of Holmgard glass from Royal Copenhagen. And that will be inscribed with our Hooked International motif and, of course, the name of the winner. And whether that name is British, Irish or continental, well, we'll know in 6 weeks' time. Now let's meet today's anglers.
Dave Costa from North London, not only a top southern angler, but also a tackle dealer and an angling journalist. His top win last year was in a league series of 6 matches where he picked up over £500.
An entire family of ducks now finding out the subtle blend of spices and herbs that Jean Menil has included in his ground bait, and I think that might be creating some problems for him.
I think he's going to have more problems. There's more coming into shot now,
The
Derek.
entire family's around.
Let's talk about Jean Menil from Hen-Saint-Pierre in Belgium, a member of the World Championship side in Belgium from 1973 and a world champion in 1977.
Jimmy Douglas now, Pete, and a man I know is building a very big reputation in Irish angling.
10 years in the international squad from Ireland, a 36-year-old engineer with British Telecom in Belfast. His biggest win ever, £3,000 in the Sea Link Classic on the River Erne in Northern Ireland.
Albert Dutrieu now from Belgium.
From Fauché-la-Marche, a 39-year-old mechanic who's been in 2 World Championships representing Belgium and also has fished in the National Club Championships.
Is he into a fish?
Yes. I'll have a look at this one, Derek, see what comes in. Small roach, or gardon, as they call them.
Ah. Alan Mayer now, and yet another angler fishing the pole, and with some success, Pete.
He's been a successful pole angler in England for a lot of years. In fact, he's one of the best pole anglers, I would say, in England. He's been on the verge of World Championships selection for a number of years, hasn't quite made it, but has fished at friendly international level.
A familiar face now, doing something very familiar, bringing in fish. That's Abel Coupin, a man viewers will remember, I trust, from our final last year.
And did very well in the final and had the big guns worried too. 44-year-old gas and electricity worker from Belgium, from Chapelle-les-Hurledans, and he's a member of the Belgian international side as well.
A man specialising in quantities of small fish.
Funnily enough, Derek, I think you'll see some bigger fish for Abel today because there's bream out there as well.
I might have a wee word with him. Ah, un petit poisson.
Petit.
Le premier?
Kleinere, oui.
Vous avez beaucoup de poissons?
Environ une trentaine. Oui.
So about 30 or so fish.
Ils sont, disons, entre 15 et 25 cm.
Yes, about this size or that size. That's international language.
Tout des rousses. Des rousses. Gardons.
So these are red roach, as far as I can gather.
Yes.
All right. Bonne chance.
Merci. Thank you.
All our anglers catching steadily now, except for Jean Menil, the Belgian duck king. Had he developed an affection for the duck? Or was he really thinking of orange sauce and a fistful of stuffing?
Dave Costa, North London. You're a tackle dealer, you're an angling journalist, and a top matchman as well. How on earth do you fit it all in?
Well, with a lot of difficulty, Pete, that often means a 12-hour day, and then the phone starts ringing when you get home as well from other anglers, but it's magic. That's all I can say about it, really.
Yes, because you've had to leave the shop in the capable hands of somebody else while you're over in Denmark.
Yes.
How do you find staff? Cope?
Well, they've just got to be people who love fishing, basically, because the fishing tackle trade doesn't pay a lot. But I think people just flock to angling shops because they're the centre of where it all stems from. It's as simple as that, really.
And then, of course, when you get home in the evenings, anglers are ringing up to find out how certain waters are fishing.
Yeah, till 12 o'clock at night, in many cases.
It's a 24-hour day.
It is, yeah.
In many cases.
But I love every minute of it.
And then you've the writing on top of that. When do you fit that in?
Well, some evenings. I mean, I've even written articles when I've been on a ferry going across the continent to buy fishing tackle, believe it or not.
So you're really mixing a lot in together?
Yeah.
You do a helpline in the Angler's Mail, don't you? Do you find that that gives you a lot of pleasure?
It does, yes. It's nice to know that people read your articles because you get a lot of response with papers like the Mail. You know, people write you letters every week, asking you questions, perhaps picking you up on a few points, you know, small items you might have mentioned, the tackle, etc.
A small roach?
Oh, yes, another small roach.
I can never pass up an opportunity to do some trout fishing, so I took myself off to a little river a few miles away from here. And you know, you see some strange sights by the river bank. Ah, it's David Copperfield, one of a kind. How are you?
Nice to meet you, sir.
On your way to the office?
No, I'm going fishing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I only have the one rod with me.
No
Can't help
problem. Doesn't matter. There's a rod in here.
Don't start taking a mickey at this hour of the day.
I'll show you. There. Yorkshire's secret weapon. Eight-foot rod. Ready to go. Right.
Let's see if it works.
I think I'll use this reel.
All right.
Okay?
Okay. There's a few moving. You
Yeah.
can bring the office down the bank with you.
Will do.
Well. It looks promising. Are you actually casting to a fish that you've seen, David?
There is one, just under the weed. If I can coax him out, I might get you some tea.
You've taken this business seriously now, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a fly in serious over my nose, look.